The Lockheed Skunk Works classification system is still running programs right now, ones your tax dollars fund, ones named in no public budget line and Congress legally cannot access them. The Senate Armed Services Committee tried to audit it in 2022. The Pentagon blocked it. The programs are still active. Tonight, we're exposing the internal classification architecture they built to make certain no one ever shuts them down. Skunk Works. That's not a nickname. It's Lockheed Martin's Advanced Development Programs Division, officially established in 1943 to build aircraft too sensitive for standard procurement channels. They gave us the U-2 spy plane, the SR-71 Blackbird, the F-117 stealth fighter, each one classified for years, sometimes decades, before the public ever knew it existed. The official story is that Skunk Works operates under congressional oversight, that Defense Appropriations Committees review black budget requests, that there are checks. That story is technically true and functionally meaningless, because Skunk Works doesn't just build aircraft. It maintains a parallel classification infrastructure, an internal access tier that sits above the standard government clearance framework, and Congress by law cannot reach it. Here's what that actually means. Standard classified programs operate under a clearance hierarchy. Top secret. Sensitive compartmented information. Special Access Programs, SAPs. Congressional Intelligence and Armed Services Committees are routinely briefed on SAPs. That's the oversight layer. But Skunk Works runs what insiders call waived SAPs. Special access programs that have been formally waived from standard congressional notification requirements. These aren't rumors. They're referenced in the 2017 to the STARS Academy disclosure documents, in testimony from former program managers, and in a 2023 Government Accountability Office report that noted, and this is a direct quote, significant gaps in congressional visibility into waived special access programs. When a program is waived, the executive branch unilaterally decides which 4 members of Congress get briefed, not the full committee, 4 people, chosen by the Pentagon, and those 4 people are legally prohibited from sharing what they hear with the rest of the committee. The files exist. The programs are funded. The people who approved the money have never seen a single line of the contract. Congress tried to close this gap. In 2022, Senator Kirsten Gillibrand introduced a provision in the National Defense Authorization Act requiring a comprehensive audit of all waived SAPs, full disclosure to the Intelligence Committee within 180 days. The provision passed both chambers. The Pentagon's response was to classify the audit itself. The delivered report arrived in a format that committee staff were not cleared to read. It was itself filed as a waived SAP. The oversight mechanism became part of the system it was trying to examine. The committee received a document confirming classified programs exist, nothing else, and it's still running. Here's the part nobody reported. The legal architecture enabling this was built in deliberate layers over 6 decades, and each layer made the next one harder to remove. The National Security Act of 1947 gave the executive branch unilateral classification authority. The CIA Act of 1949 exempted certain programs from standard appropriations reporting. The 1994 Defense Authorization Act formalized the waived SAP structure, and the critical piece, the one that makes congressional oversight structurally impossible, ties classification authority to program security, not program content. Meaning, the reason a program stays classified is not what it does. It's whether revealing it would compromise sources and methods. Lockheed, through Skunk Works, files ongoing security justifications that keep programs in waived status indefinitely. No sunset clause, no mandatory review at program completion. A project can end, its aircraft can be scrapped, and the files stay classified because classification is maintained as a category, not a case-by-case decision. Former Pentagon program manager Tom Mahood described it in 2019 as a self-sealing system. The classification justification is itself classified. To challenge it, you'd need access you can only obtain through the system you're trying to challenge. The Skunk files don't stay secret because they're protected. They stay secret because the protection mechanism is the secret. Right now, your federal tax dollars are funding programs you will never learn the name of, programs with budgets that appear in no public-facing appropriation. Contracts with Lockheed subsidiaries structured specifically to root around procurement visibility. The black budget, the classified portion of the U.S. intelligence and defense budget, was estimated at $66 billion in 2023 by the Federation of American Scientists. That number is itself an estimate because the actual figure is classified. Some portion of that $66 billion flows into waived SAP programs that 4 hand-picked members of Congress hear about in a room they cannot record, cannot bring staff into, and cannot discuss with colleagues afterward. You funded it. You're funding it right now. And the system was specifically designed so that the question of what you're funding cannot be legally asked by the people you elected to ask it. Skunk Works has maintained active wave programs continuously since at least 1955. Some eventually produced aircraft that were declassified. Others were never acknowledged at all, which means some of them are still running. The funding is active. The classification infrastructure guarantees it stays that way. The question isn't whether there are programs Congress can't see. The real question, the one no committee member has asked on record, is who inside that system decides what can never come out. And why in 70 years, that person has never once been wrong.